Good evening. Welcome to Blurred Lines, live from the Bayou, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm Jude Marino, here with my esteemed colleague, our professional basketball analyst, Mr. Patrick Broussard. And today we're here to talk about bracketology. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the start of our Inside Sales March Madness Rise Up Tournament. Patrick, how you doing today?
Doing good, Jude. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Let's just jump right in, why don't we?
All right.
Let's look at this bracket.
Well, when I take a look, let's start on the left side of the beginning bracket. We got 24 teams entered. First matchup, you've got Kimberly Williams against Todd Chumley right out the bat. Now, Jude, I had some time to spend with Kimberly when we were in Orange County. I don't believe that she is going to be over her bout with Tourette's yet. And if Chumley can put the weights down long enough, I believe Chumley takes this one as the underdog.
Chumley it is. Gotcha. Let's move on to that next game on the first round. Patrick Broussard, yourself, versus John Paul Franco.
Well, Jude, out of all the matches I see here, this one's probably the biggest slam dunk of all. Obviously, Patrick Broussard, with the looks, will move on to the next round. John Paul, man, you've been a great competitor. I'm going to say this ahead of time. I appreciate the effort. Team Patrick moves on here.
All right, moving right through this. Garrett Kelly versus Stacy Kinney.
Garrett Kelly a rep?
No, he's managing.
Oh, okay. Well, Garrett must be a new manager, I guess, against Stacy Kinney. Now, this, again, is a tough one. Garrett is actually the favorite as a new guy here. I'm going to say that Stacy might be spending a little too much time in that backyard, and come next week, who knows, outside might have taken some more of her reps, so she could be down some head. I'm going to go ahead and say Garrett Kelly moves on in this one.
All right. So, looking at our other side of the bracket, we got Jeff Lindauer.
Lindauer?
Oh,
Is this a typo? Is he supposed to be?
Lindauer versus Jeremy Miller.
Okay, man, I can't say it with a straight face. But Lindauer against Jeremy Miller. This is a tough one. Miller's a competitor. He's not very good at ping pong, but he's a competitor. I'm going to say the underdog, again, Jeremy Miller moves on.
It's Miller time. All right, moving on through, Eric Lipscomb versus Jeff Hatfield.
Boy, this might be the toughest call of the lineup. Jeff Hatfield moving to outbound, coming in at the 23 seed. That's the golden boy for Cox Business. 23 seed, he laughs at that. He's got a new outbound team, they're hungry. But then you got Lippy on the other side. Now, Eric is finally fully staffed. Now, Eric went to Winter Circle just 2 years ago. His team is strong, and he's going to be fully staffed. So I expect this one to be close, but I believe Hatfield's going to move on.
Hatfield, too bad you can't try it before you buy it.
I guess so.
All right, so we got Jeff Hayden versus a team that's really kind of new in Arizona. It's not really have a manager yet.
This is tough. Hayden against Open. Now, Hayden is my boy. Went down to San Diego. He got me some fish juice, and I know he's going to be fueled up on fish juice. I believe he can take the Open team, especially being the favorite. So I think Hayden moves on here.
All right. So, our last round one game, Breon Nichols versus Tyler Gray. Another new name.
Yeah, last I checked, in the meeting, I think Breon was sleeping when we went over this, so I'm not sure he knows we have the contest. So I reached out to him. He's on a cruise. Breon's on a cruise this week. This is an easy call. Tyler Gray, the new guy from Ecom, he moves on.
I thought you'd say Breon was cruising to victory, but obviously not. All right, let's go on to our second round. We got David Freeman versus Chumley.
All right, this one is an easy call. Freeman is the #1 seed, and folks, let's be honest. Freeman's a good-looking dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think on looks alone, Jude, Freeman moves on this one.
Good-looking dude going to the next round. All right, what about David Grady, Freddie Ortiz?
Now here you got a couple of heavyweights that are meeting for their first game. Grady finished #5, Ortiz #9. Freddie Ortiz is moving on to retention, so I'm not sure how this will play out with beautiful hair. I love the hair, Freddie, but you're in a new role. Are you going to be pushing those people to sales? I don't know. I think Grady moves on here.
Grady on nail biter. All right. So moving through it, we have Joseph Otto versus Patrick Broussard.
All right, so this will be my second round match. I'm going to have my sea legs under me. And if we're being totally honest, people, Joe Otto came up to me at Summit and asked me how many points a touchdown was worth in basketball. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think my team moves on again.
So you got Broussard moving on. You know, Jeff Bro didn't even pick you to make it past the first round.
Well, you know, Steve Rowley did in fact pick me. Jeff Bro didn't. When I asked Steve about it, I was a little concerned. I said, why wouldn't Bro pick me from his own hometown to advance? And he said, Broussard, have you seen Jeff Bro? Does he look like he'd be better at basketball than me? Can't complain with that.
All right. Moving on to our final game on this side of the bracket. We are going to have Garrett Kelly versus Jared Lane.
All right, I think Garrett Kelly might be a one-hit wonder here. He might win that first game just because he's a new guy and he's going to be all excited. But he's going up against Jared Lane. Jared is 17 feet tall. I'm sure Jared will take this match.
J-Rod it is. Looking forward to that matchup. All right, on the other side of the bracket, round 2, we got Jake Burns versus Jeremy Miller.
Now you got two guys in the same queue here, but you know, Jake finished strong at number 2, and Jake is always somewhere at the top of the leaderboard. I don't know if Jeremy might not be playing a little too much ping pong by this point, and I'm sure Jake is going to have his rally socks on. I think Jake takes it and the favorite moves on.
Jade it is. All right, moving down, we have Jeff Hatfield against Carlos Kessler.
Hatfield and Kessler. Somebody's going to have to win in this bromance right here. I don't know who it'll be. I'm going to say Hatfield's got the outside team, but Kessler is a bulldog, the godfather. I think Kessler is going to be chomping at the bit. He will have a week to wait, so I imagine the first week his team may not put in too much and hold off to that second week because he knows he's going against the golden boy from Arizona, Mr. Jeff Hatfield. I think Kessler takes this one.
All right. So next up we have J.J. Jonathan Johnson versus Jeff Hayden.
Well, JJ again is the favorite here. Had a great year last year, and he's got the top rep in the country with Carlos Velasquez. I believe at this point, Carlos will not know that this is not the World Cup, so he'll be putting forth his best effort thinking it's a soccer tournament, which will propel JJ to the next round.
All right. So rounding out round 2, looks like we have Tyler Gray versus Les Davidson.
Now, this again is a tough one. You know, every tournament's got a Cinderella story. And Tyler Gray with that Ecom team is going to be pulling from all over the country. So, believe it or not, Les Davidson, even though number 4, and again, he's a stalwart over there in Arizona, man. He's always in the top. I think we have an upset here. My Cinderella story call, Tyler Gray moves on past Les Davidson. Shaquille. Keep going.
Gotcha. I know what you're talking about. All right, let's go into round 3 at this point. Looks like we're going to have David Freeman versus David Grady. Where's all these Arizona people coming from?
I tell you what, Freeman again, Jude, he's just a beautiful man. I don't know what to tell you. Freeman definitely moves on here. Grady's ugly. Freeman got this one.
Freeman it is. All right, moving on down. Looks like we have Patrick Broussard versus J-Rod.
Now, this is a tough call for me personally. Jared, one of my boys here in the East Coast, you know. But Jude, I'll tell you, Jared and I went through Insight together, and we had to do a project at the end of the Insight. We had to create a video. And Jared just wasn't all there. He couldn't keep up with my momentum and my energy. So I believe when it comes down to the end of this tournament, Jared may slack a little bit. I think Team Broussard takes him and makes it to the Final Four.
Broussard in the Final Four. There it is. All right. Other side of the bracket, we have Jake versus Kessler.
Ooh, again, it's tough. You know, Carlos been waking up at 2 in the morning to go work out. He's eating grass, whatever he's eating now. I think he's in shape, and I think he's ready for this. At this point, Jake might run out of socks because we will be 3 weeks into the tournament. I think Kessler makes this one and makes it to the Final Four.
Kessler knocking the socks off of him.
That's
All
right.
right, there we go. All right, J.J. Jonathan Johnson versus Tyler Gray. What a matchup that's going to be.
Again, I said it earlier, my Cinderella story, and as much as JJ would like to be Cinderella's story, I believe that Carlos has figured out at this point that it is not soccer and pulls on the brakes just a little bit that allows Tyler Gray to make it into the Final Four.
Tyler Gray it is. Newcomer in the Final Four. Unbelievable. Let's get right to it. Final Four matchups. Freeman versus Broussard. How can you tell them apart?
Now, you know, this is just, good looks on good looks right here. What can you say? I think that at this point, though, he's gotten by on his good looks to this point, and the psychological warfare I will have imparted on his team by the time we get here will make him fold. So again, the underdog, Broussard into the finals.
Broussard in the finals. That doesn't surprise me, but okay. Let's keep moving on. We got our final four matchup. We're going at it with Carlos Kessler versus Tyler Gray.
You know, you like to see the Cinderella story make it to the finals and win the whole ring. In this case, I think Carlos is just too strong. He's going to make it to the finals. I think he makes it going away into the finals. Gray's time has run out, so I put Kessler in the finals.
Gray's got all of America. He's America's team. He's got the whole country selling for him. And you're going with Carlos?
Going with Carlos.
Kessler.
Going with the guy.
Oh, my goodness. What a matchup this is going to be. Broussard versus Kessler. Final two. Championship game. Make the call.
Well, you know, Carlos Kessler came down to our market here on the manager exchange program and helped train my team. All I know is that at this point, Carlos, the student, has become the master. I got Broussard winning it all.
Broussard winning it all. Again, doesn't surprise me. My man Patrick Broussard, thank you for coming out here and doing bracketology with us today.
Appreciate it.
You heard it here first. Broussard's going to be the champion. This is going to be an unbelievable matchup. Let's all rise up. This is where the rubber meets the road. Right here, Inside Sales March Madness Tournament. Let's get it.